Hi everyone, welcome to day 2. Today our theme is Awaken. So I'd like you to take a few moments before we dive into the practice to just sit with yourself and think about the areas that may be a little bit dominant within you. Whether that's your creativity or maybe it's something that you haven't yet embodied but you would like to. And keep in mind throughout this practice that awakening is a process. It does not happen overnight, so be patient with yourself. We are going to begin. We'll just come to our tabletop position and we'll press into the tops of the feet, and then we'll sit the sit bones all the way onto the backs of the feet. We won't be here for a very long time, but if this position is particularly uncomfortable for you, you can get a towel and place it behind the knees for some extra padding, and you can get a cushion to sit on so that it's more comfortable than sitting all the way back if that doesn't feel right for you. So while we're here, we are stretching out in the feet, and we're just going to begin with a little wrist stretch. So we'll bring our hands together, Anjali Mudra or prayer. We'll space the fingertips out nice and wide, and then we'll interlace the fingertips. Perfect. From here, we'll just draw the figure 8 or the infinity sign. Just getting a little mobility, warming up, and awakening our wrists for today's practice. Great. From here, we'll just release our hands and we're going to do some wrist circles. So nice and slow, going in one direction. Great. And then we'll reverse it and make our circles go in the opposite direction. Awesome. From here, we'll extend the left hand out, fingertips down. The right fingertips, we'll just gently pull on the left fingertips and we'll feel a nice stretch in the forearm. Come back to your breathing and just notice how much sweeter our stretches feel when we take a nice deep breath in. Great, and then we'll switch it over to the other side. Left fingertips are pulling down on the right. Just warming it up. Great, and release. From here, we'll inhale and bring the hands out either side all the way overhead. And again, we'll interlace the hands and just bring them to rest at the base of the neck, kind of cradling the head here. Elbows are open nice and wide. And we'll just do some spinal flexion, warm up our spine with some cat-cow. So from here, on our inhale, the pelvis draws up towards the back of the room. Scoop the belly, open up the heart, gaze up to the ceiling. Elbows are nice and wide. Exhale, tailbone draws under, bringing the chin to the chest, drawing the elbows in. Beautiful. Inhale, rock the pelvis back. Open up the heart, gaze up towards the ceiling, elbows wide. And exhale, draw it all the way in, navel reaches up to meet the spine. One more each time. Inhale. And exhale, round down, chin to chest. Beautiful. Inhale, we come back to our center. We'll just release our hands and shake them out. And from here, we'll dive into our all fours. Taking a second here in our tabletop position to check in with our foundations. So our wrists are stacked evenly underneath the shoulders. Hips are over the knees. And our knees are open about inner hip distance apart here. And pressing into the tops of the feet. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. And we'll press into the right hand. And on our inhale, we'll sweep the left hand up about 90 degrees out to the side. And on the exhale, we'll draw it through, threading the needle, bringing the left ear and left shoulder to the ground. The right arm can walk up to the right corner of the mat, come up onto the fingertips and press into that right hand. And feel the activation, the awakening of the shoulder blades. Press into the tops of the feet. And if this doesn't feel good, we can always bring this right hand to the base of our spine or over to the left hip and open up that right shoulder. Beautiful. One more breath in. And exhale, we'll come back to tabletop. Again, checking in with the foundation. So wrists under shoulders, knees stacked directly under hips. Press into the left hand, and on an inhale, we sweep the right arm up 90 degrees out to the side. And exhale, thread the needle, bringing the right shoulder and ear down to the mat. Our left hand walks up to the top corner, and we press into those fingertips, opening up our chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Or the left arm comes to the base of the spine, rolling that left shoulder open. One more breath in. And exhale, come back to our tabletop. Beautiful. Take a nice deep breath in here. And exhale, we'll tuck the toes under and come to our first downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet here. Keep the knees as bent as we need to. Warming up and awakening our body. If you're doing this practice in the morning, or just releasing the stress of the day if you're doing it in the evening. From here, we'll just find a few moments of stillness in our downward facing dog. And if you want, you can pause this video and you can grab your guidebook, and today's asana of the day is our downward facing dog, so you can check out a few more alignment tips if you need to help your home practice. So from here, we're just pressing into all of the fingers. We're breathing into this space by our armpits. We call it our armpit chest. And trying to expand our rib cage out a little bit more to the left and the right. Hips are hinging up towards the ceiling. And of course, keep a nice bend in the knees if we need it. Beautiful. One more breath here. Great. On our next inhale, we'll sweep the right toes up towards the sky. Beautiful. From here, we'll flex our foot and bend that knee, bringing the right heel to the right butt cheek. Perfect. From here, we pivot the right knee all the way up to the ceiling, stacking the right hip on top of the left. Make sure we're not collapsing in either of our armpits here, just opening up the hips. And on an exhale, we'll rotate the knee all the way back down and hug the knee up, knee to nose, and we'll plant it at the top of our mat. Come up onto the fingertips if you need a little bit more room here. Our left leg, we're going to pivot and plant it on a 45-degree angle. So a good alignment check here is your left toes should be facing the left corner of your mat. Beautiful. From here, we'll inhale and sweep the hands all the way up, bending into that front knee. 90 degrees here, front knee over front ankle. Hands all the way up. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Be mindful of if the low ribs are splaying out, and just hug them in. In our warrior one, Virabhadrasana 1. Beautiful. From here, we're going to pivot to face the long edge of our mat, bringing our feet parallel to the short edges of our mat. Excellent. We're pressing in into the outer edges of our feet, drawing that energy up. And we'll bring our hands behind us, interlace our fingertips, and squeeze the shoulder blades together, drawing the hands down towards the ground. Take a nice deep breath in. And on our exhale, we'll hinge from the hips and begin to fold forward, bringing the hands up with us. Beautiful. Nice Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Pressing into the outer edges of our feet, keeping a nice micro bend in the knees if we need it. And on our next inhale, nice and strong, we'll slowly begin to roll it all the way back up to standing. Beautiful. From here, we'll pivot back to face the front of our mat and send our hands down to frame the front foot. We'll stack the right toes back, coming into our plank. We're holding steady here. Navel draws up to meet the spine, feeling our core awaken. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Nice deep breath in. And exhale, hinge it back, downward facing dog. Paddle out the feet again if you need to. Awakening, getting that stagnant energy moving. And then just settle into another moment of stillness here. In our downward facing dog. And then we'll do it again on the other side. So on our next inhale, the left toes sweep up towards the sky. Flex that left foot and draw the left heel to the left butt cheek. Beautiful. When you're ready, we'll pivot that left knee all the way up to the ceiling, stacking the left hip on top of the right, not collapsing in our armpits. A nice strong upper body. And on your exhale, we'll rotate that knee all the way back down, hug it through the midline, knee to nose, and step it up at the top. Again, come up onto the fingertips if you need a little extra room. And we'll plant our right foot, 45-degree angle. So right foot coming to the right corner. The toes are pointing to the right corner. When you're here, nice and steady, we'll rise up to our warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. So inhale, sweep the hands all the way up, bending into that front knee. Front knee is at a nice 90-degree angle. So just be mindful of if our knee is going far over our toes and just pull it back. Beautiful. Draw the shoulders away from the ears here. Nice and strong. Excellent. Take a nice deep breath in, hug those low ribs in, and exhale, send the hands down to frame the front foot. We'll stack the left toes back, coming into our plank. Holding it steady, awakening our core. 3, 2, 1. On our next inhale, we'll lower our knees down to the mat, and we'll open them up as wide as our mat, bringing our 2 big toes to touch in the center. From here, we'll walk our hands to the top of the mat and send our hips all the way back, melting the chest and the forehead down to the ground. Balasana, child's pose.